6 kids. Count them. Buying their clothes could put us into bankruptcy.
6 o'clock. Now live from Iowa's leading news station, Paul Rose, Kevin Cooney, Pete Taylor, and Connie McBurney. This is TV-8 News Live at 6.
Good evening. Des Moines developer Bruce Gerlman today unveiled plans for 2 Iowa International Trade Centers, one in Des Moines, the other in Cedar Rapids. The project here would be housed in the old Yonker store for homes on 8th Street. And as TV-8's Ken Peterson reports, business leaders hope the $5 million investment in Des Moines will ripple throughout the state.
Bruce Gerlman apparently succeeded where trucking giant John Ruan could not. Gerlman took the wraps off a $5 million trade center planned for downtown Des Moines. The project calls for no state money whatsoever, and renovation is scheduled to begin in 2 weeks at the old Yonker store for homes at 8th and Locust. Gerlman says the 70,000 square foot building will be developed as a service and information center for Iowa's businesses.
We are starting with something that is of a scale and size that we can make work. And it is meant to only be the seed and the start of our gaining access to international markets.
So far, Gerlman has only one tenant, the First Interstate Bank of Des Moines, which will provide international banking services. He's also looking for insurance, commodities, law, and communication firms to locate in the 7-story building. We're in the tunnel that runs underneath 8th Street to the Yonkers department store. Instead of stocking teapots from West Germany, Gerlman wants to turn this into an Iowa showcase, offering products made only here in the Hawkeye State. In contrast to John Ruan's plan, no exhibition hall is planned for Gerlman's project. Gerlman met with former Iowa Governor Robert Ray and other Cedar Rapids business leaders to build a trade center there, too.
We certainly have to have a cooperative attitude, a whole statewide attitude.
We firmly believe and are still committed to Mr. Ruan's original World Trade Center concept and hope to see that built someday. But we also think that Mr. Gerlman's project could be a good first step in that direction.
Gerlman has invited the Greater Des Moines Chamber of Commerce to act as the manager of the first 2 levels of the Trade Center. Kent Peterson, TV-8 News.
In other changes for the city, Bethel Mission officials today announced plans for a fundraising drive to develop a new facility at 2nd and Washington here. The announcement follows last night's vote by members of the Plumbers and Steamfitters Union to sell their union hall to mission officials. The pending sale may end 5 years of searching by Bethel Mission Board members to find a new location for the city's homeless. The remodeled building will house up to 100 men a day, and officials say steps will be taken to integrate the mission into the surrounding neighborhood.
The men will not be allowed to be out front. They'll be in a fenced-in back portion there by the day room. It's not a jail. They won't be locked up. They'll be able to come and go as they please, but the visibility of the men will not be as it is today.
Mission officials say they hope to raise $650,000 for their new headquarters. The sale of the existing mission at 6th and School will bring in about $210,000. To contribute to the relocation fund, donations can be sent to the Bethel Mission, Box 4872 here in Des Moines. The zip is 50309.
Des Moines fire investigators say the blaze which gutted a vacant building in the 900 block of 6th Avenue early today was definitely arson. The blaze forced the evacuation of some guests at the motel next door. No injuries reported. The building most recently housed the Caddyshack Lounge and CNS Services. The building was engulfed in flames by the time firefighters arrived about 3 a.m. Investigator Ted Strait said it's the second fire at the building in about a month. He said the blaze was not caused by a flammable liquid, but declined to say what did cause the blaze. Strait said the first fire caused about $50,000 damage. This morning's blaze was even more expensive. Strait says investigators have no suspects.
Well, Iowa made legal history today as the newest state Supreme Court justice took the oath of office. TV-8's Michelle Parker has that story.
The Iowa Supreme Court chamber was packed with people this morning who wanted to see history happen. 38-year-old Linda Newman of LeClaire became the first woman Iowa Supreme Court justice. Newman is also the youngest person to sit on the Supreme Court bench. Among the eager onlookers were Newman's husband Henry and her 2 small daughters. Newman's peers praised her appointment.
Justice Newman, we're very proud of you. We wish you well, and we know that you will do an outstanding job in your new position.
Governor Branstad, who appointed Newman, administered the oath of office.
Equal to the rich and the poor.
After taking the oath, Newman's husband helped her with her black robe and escorted her to her seat on the bench. Newman told the crowd she accepted her new position with reverence and respect, and she says the fact she's a woman won't make any difference in her work.
The work that we are about is neither women's work nor men's work, but a solemn responsibility that we share equally.
Newman says she doesn't expect any added pressure because she's a woman, and she says her main challenge will be to administer justice. Michelle Parker, TV-8 News.
Justice Newman, by the way, replaces Justice Harvey Uhlenhoff, who died last May.
This, of course, is the first day of the Iowa State Fair, usually giving a pretty good indication of what's ahead for visitors who are yet to make the trip out to the fairgrounds. Our Dana Carden is at the TV-8 tent. He's been touring the opening day events all day. Joins us now live to tell us more about this year's fair. Dana?
Well, Paul, it seems like it's hard to see. It's hard to believe that a year has gone by since we're back out here at the Iowa State Fair already, but the TV-8 tent just west of the grandstand is full of people again, and they look like they're having fun. I don't know. You guys having fun? Have to get them going. Of course, the theme of this year's Iowa State Fair is welcome or come home to the Iowa State Fair, and Lisa here has come home. You having fun out here today, Lisa? You won. It's hard to see. You've got a second place ribbon here. She got a second place ribbon for the braid that she did back here. It's kind of hard to see. Here it is, second place. How about that? That's worth a little applause. Nice job, Lisa. Lisa's from Dallas Center. A lot of people from all over the state and all over the country out here. It's hard to say exactly what the attendance was today. The opening day, it's always hard to judge, but it's certainly a lot better than what many people thought yesterday, or following yesterday's rainstorm out here. One look from the Sky Glider as it hovers over the fairgrounds, and there's no doubt the Iowa State Fair is in full swing. Though it's peaceful up here, down below, it's organized madness. That madness started early this morning as a rush of fairgoers, complicated by a still-flooded East University, created a massive traffic jam. Now, the Iowa State Fair is a lot of things to a lot of people. For some, it's the screaming and colorful lights of the Midway. For others, the fair means the cattle and sheep barns, and a chance to see the World's Championship Super Bowl. Big Mac weighed in today at 3,250 pounds. The fair is food, the fair is kids, and the fair is zany contests like the Zucchini International Race.
On your marks, get set, go!
Now, the fair isn't always fun, especially when it's your car that's being towed away. But the fair offers something for everyone, whether you find it on the Midway, at the food stands, at the Scarecrow Contest, where they had some pretty good judges, I must say, or in Mom's Arms, where a nap feels pretty darn good. Okay, Kevin and Paul, I know you have a question on your mind that you're dying to ask me, and that's how many corn dogs I've had today. Well, I came here today, I wasn't going to touch one through the entire fair. I made it an hour and a half before I ate one, so not doing too well out here. I had only 2 today, though, so that's pretty good.
Okay, Dana. What about events coming up, by the way?
Well, tonight we're going to have Starship out here, a pop rock group who you may recall a song, Sarah. Tomorrow it's Older Iowans Day, so they'll be getting a break on admission out here. And also tomorrow night is the popular rock and roll reunion, and so that's pretty popular. I plan on going to that myself. It's always lots of fun.
Good enough, and Dana will be back at the State Fair throughout the next week and a half. Next up on TV-8 News, a new Iowa lottery game made its debut today.
And Greg Herdine reports on some controversial videotapes released by an Iowa congressional candidate today.
Marge, have you heard? Anderson Erickson. 5 flavors? It's all natural, Tommy. No preservatives or stabilizers.
Can we talk later? The word is getting around. Now, AE has 5 all-new, all-natural flavors of ice cream. Chocolate, strawberry, butter brickle, vanilla, and French vanilla. And you know it's good. It's AE. Anderson Erickson Ice Cream.
Here's Elwood P. Suggins for Ruffy's. Ruffy's trash bag's tougher than them other guys. Watch your simple test. Well, who cares? Ruffy's are tough enough. And don't worry if Ruffy's cost less than Glad or Hefty. I mean, a penny saved is a stitch in time. You get my drift? Right, Lamar? Ain't that cute? He said big, tough bag, little sissy prize.
Recently, 7 leading exterior oil stains were tested for water repellency after 3 years weathering. Now, they all claimed to be water repellent. But after just 1 hour, only one claim really held water. Endurance oil stain from Glidden. Now on sale at a price that won't soak you. Just $9.99. Glidden, your stain should be this good.
In Sioux City, actor and congressional candidate Fred Grandy today released videotapes of the Johnny Carson show where Democrats had accused him of poking fun at Iowa. Greg Carradine was there.
Hollywood, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson.
What does the feud between Tonight Show host Johnny Carson and his one-time stand-in Joan Rivers have to do with politics in northwest Iowa? The answer is Fred Grandy. You knew him for 8 seasons as Gopher, an actor on the TV series The Love Boat. Today, the Sioux City native is a Republican candidate for the 6th congressional seat in northwest Iowa.
But when I make fun, this is the way I do it. Gently, reverentially, and never with an intent to make anybody feel ill at ease.
But the Democrats claim that during an interview by Joan Rivers in March of 1984, that's exactly what he did. To counter that, Grandy showed taped interviews today, one done with host Johnny Carson in July of 1982, and another with Rivers in September of '84.
I was out there to host the beauty pageant out there, the Miss Sioux City Rivercade. They have a big thing on the Missouri River every year where it's like a big testimonial to ringworm.
However, the interview in which Grandy was said to have disparaged Iowa was not shown. That's because Rivers has jumped ship, so to speak, to work on a competing show. Grandy says Carson show producers don't want to give Rivers any publicity. Fred Grandy has all but exonerated his Democratic opponent Clayton Hodgson of perpetrating what he calls an attempted smear. Instead, he lays the blame on the Iowa and national Democratic parties. He readily admits that this situation has given his campaign a last-minute media boost, but he says he's glad it happened now rather than during the elections. Reporting from Sioux City, Greg Carradine, TV-8 News.
A Greenfield man was killed, a Winterset woman injured today in a head-on crash in Madison County. State troopers say the accident occurred when a car driven by 19-year-old Randy Sherman crossed the center line west of Winterset and collided with a car driven by 23-year-old Lori Gillespie of Winterset. He was killed. She suffered head and leg injuries, is in serious condition in the Des Moines hospital. The Iowa Lottery formally launched its 6th instant game today out at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. Under the new game, a player must find 3 numbers adding up to 7, 11, or 21, and would then win prizes ranging from more free tickets to $21,000. The top prizes are lower than previous instant games, but lottery officials say there are more of them.
All right, that sounds good. And speaking of the State Fair, let's go back out there now and Connie McBurney with the weather.
Not just weather. There's a lot more out here at the fair. In fact, you guys have the nice, comfortable seats. We have snow cones, caramel corn, I think maybe a candy apple, one with nuts. Yeah. That's what the fair is all about, right? We're going to have a good time. In fact, we may get Thank you. Mom. This ought to be a real sweet weathercast. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. See you then.
Check all the advantages of banking at full-service East Des Moines National. A well-managed neighborhood bank such as East is your assurance of outstanding, personalized service. People, performance people make a bank. That's why East Des Moines National is your bank for all reasons. For banking at its best, go East and enjoy the friendly atmosphere, the professional way in which your transaction is handled at each of the 4 convenient neighborhood East Bank locations.
When you pay your